Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Sharang Haimari. I represent Seed Global Education, and today we have a very special masterclass webinar that is organized by Emory University and their Goizueta School, Business School. And we're going to be learning a little bit about the advent of AI and how it is revolutionizing workplace. So we'll talk about transforming industries and redefining careers in the age of artificial intelligence. Every book I read, every podcast I hear, it says that is AI going to take your job away? What can you do to be relevant in the 21st century or the century of artificial intelligence? We've got a wonderful, Professor Dr. Rajiv Garg, who's going to be talking to us a little bit on that, and we'll also hear about Emory University, which is, one of the most revered universities in North America, based out of Atlanta. Very close to Washington, D.C., which is the capital. But we will talk a little more of that. We have 130 of odd plus of you in the room. If you can tell me, yes, Ayush, this is live. Good morning, good evening to you, Ayush. If you can tell me in the chat box which city you are joining in from, use the chat option, and we'd like to know where you are joining in from. Muskan is joining us from Surat, Gujarat. Agam from Mumbai. People from Jaipur, Dehradun, Mysore, Noida. Peshawar, Pakistan. Welcome, Afsan. Now it's going quite fast, but people here from Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Panipat, Bhubaneswar, Chandigarh, Kerala, Pune, Andhra Pradesh, Noida, Bihar, Pune, Gurgaon. These are folks joining in from the length and breadth of India, some folks from outside India as well. So we welcome you to this session, and over the next 1 hour, we'll learn a little bit about the advent of artificial intelligence and how it could impact you and your careers. I have a poll question of try and get some sense of what your opinion of AI is. And I am going to quickly launch that poll question, which is on your screen right about now. Which of these, sorry, that was the wrong poll question I have launched. I'm going to end this poll and I'm going to launch the other poll. So, if you are thinking about pursuing a master's or an MBA, we'd like to understand from you what is your primary motivation. And I know this question only talks about an MBA, but also if you're looking at master's programs, which a lot of you are, which is why 158 of you are in this session. What are some of the critical elements, or what are some of the reasons, or your primary motivation of pursuing business masters or an MBA program? Could you please let me know? We'll wait for the options here are around career advancement and promotion, career change, networking and professional development, entrepreneurship, or if you're thinking about starting a business, or skill development and knowledge enhancement. We are waiting for a few more people to respond to this question. We've got a majority of you that have already participated. I'm going to close this link right about now. So if you haven't done it, just click on the poll and answer your question. So I'm going to share some of the results. You can see that career advancement and promotion, skill development and knowledge enhancement, as well as entrepreneurship, which is what a lot of India is talking about, and it is the century of India and the Indian subcontinent, which is around starting a business. And what better to start a business with the help of AI, or and we'll learn a lot more about that in this session. So for you, Mary, for you, Dr. Rajiv, this is a little bit about what the audience has in mind. If and when they are planning to pursue their master's education, be it an MBA or a business master's program. What we'll do is I'm going to introduce for the benefit of everyone in the audience, Dr. Rajiv Garg. He's the Associate Professor of Information Systems and Operations at Emory University's Goizueta Business School. His research uses economic and statistical techniques to analyze information flow in digital platforms and network structures. He's done research across multiple segments, including digital content across network, digital marketing strategies for social and mobile commerce, and the role of digital technology in labor markets and entrepreneurship. No better than Dr. Rajiv Garg to talk to us a little bit about the advent of AI. Dr. Rajiv, over to you. And firstly, thank you so much for taking our time to do this on a busy weekday morning.
Thank you, Sharon. That is very kind of you. And just to answer the question, I actually grew up in Delhi, India. So anyone, I mean, I see all of you from various parts of India. This is pretty amazing. And outside. I'm going to share my screen. So to start. And so Sharon was saying AI is transforming essentially our work, our lives, and the opportunities that we're going to have. Just last semester, we actually, in one of my courses, and just I'm saying one course, we created AI-based startups. So I saw a lot of people interested in startups. So they use the AI backend, generative AI, AI automation to create startups. And with almost no code background. So I mean, that's the beauty about AI. There's a concept of citizen development that anybody could be a programmer. Anybody can do any kind of development moving forward with the help of AI. So as a result, it's going to change these startups moving forward. It's going to change how we work as well. Before I start really talking about, so my focus is I'm going to take some examples from my own research that I do at the intersection of AI, data analytics, and so forth. But if you can see my screen, and I need to share the audio.
Sorry, Dr. Rajiv,
Okay.
we're only being able to see part of your screen, only the left-hand side, which says data 8. I think there is gray area in the middle and towards the side.
All right, let's see. My bad. Oh yeah, that's fine. So that is the screen. It's going to show up. It's it's a whole slide is a black slide. So
all right. Okay.
And this is something I created, and let's see if you can hear.
Why did the data scientists break up with the database? Because they couldn't find a table where they could relate data analyst से. उसकी पत्नी ने पूछा, हमारी शादी की सालगिरह कब है? डेटा एनालिस्ट ने जवाब दिया, अरे याद नहीं, मैंने तो उसे डेटाबेस में सेव कर रखा है. Que le dice una base de datos a otra, dame un índice para no perderme en tus tablas.
So the whole point that I'm trying to show here, so this is actually, I mean, you see me, it's like a recording, but it's actually AI. AI is essentially that the whole avatar, my video that you are seeing is AI. It's not any other recording of me. It's essentially my AI telling a joke when it asks to tell a joke. So it has backend of a ChatGPT trained on my own research papers and data and my course content. And it's creating the jokes on the fly. And not just the English or Hindi, like it's creating in literally any language. The third joke was in Spanish, where it says, what does one database say to another? It says, give me an index and I won't get lost in your tables. So I went even further, right? So this is the recording of the AI generated content. And
hey, it's me talking to me. Oh, nice, a little self-conversation, huh? What's on your mind? What do you think I will be doing tomorrow? Let me think. Maybe you're planning something cool, like working on a project or just chilling. Whatever it is, I hope it's fun. I'm also on a panel to talk about AI. Awesome. That sounds super interesting. Do you have any specific topics about AI you're excited to discuss? Just chatting with myself. Haha, got it. A little introspection never hurts. If you want to bounce any ideas around or chat about something specific, I'm here for it.
I am sorry. It's okay. I did not realize. So you were able to hear, but you couldn't see.
Now we can
are you
see
able to see
everything.
now?
Yes, now we can see
Okay,
everything.
sorry. So the previous slide actually had 3 of my video clips generated by AI. In this case, I was having a conversation with my AI real time. So it's not essentially a recording like the previous slide. So the previous slide was telling a joke which were created by AI, delivered by AI, but they were recorded. In this case, this was a real-time conversation with my AI self, and which is trained on my data, on my knowledge base, etc. So this brings us to the question, what is AI, right? If you were to ask this question, think about what is AI? AI is a technology that enables machines to simulate human intelligence for solving problems. That means, and AI broadly covers, captures analytics, machine learning, deep learning, literally everything that is out there, right? So AI, as a result, is going to enable generation of content, automation of our tasks, our processes, augmentation of our decision making, and personalization of the information we consume literally every single day, right? I'm sorry. This AI-enabled generation, augmentation, automation, personalization is going to enable increased individual productivity and the growth of businesses moving forward. If an individual or an organization is not adopting AI in some sense to achieve one of these tasks, one of these opportunities to improve the productivity, to grow their business, they're going to be left behind. And as quickly as essentially by the end of this year, right? And the 2025 is considered the year of the AI agents or agentic workflow, which is essentially not even a single AI that is going to be work independently, individually for one individual, for one business, but it's going to be a collection of AI systems that are going to help reason, provide solutions, and build a much more richer, rigorous outcomes for any individual. All right. So thinking about the AI and the future of work. The future of work with AI is promising, right? Every organization, the media outlet has, or every research paper, most research papers, they are saying that AI will fuel the future of work, right? The AI is going to create so many jobs, whereas there are a lot of alternative insights as well. For example, David Otter said, last 40 years have been increasingly difficult for 65% of the US workers who do not have a college degree, right? Because this lack of college degree, because of the adoption of technology, there was an increasing gap between the people who had the college degree, who knew technology versus who did not. We're going to see the same thing with the AI as well moving forward. So people who are trained in analytics, trained in AI, trained in machine learning will have a wider gap compared to the individuals who are not trained. So the question that we all think about is, will AI or will AI not take our jobs, right? Automation could eliminate 73 million jobs. That's based on a report from McKinsey. But 85% of the jobs that will exist haven't been invented yet. This is a report by Dell, right? And the point we're trying to make here is, if you think about 2 years ago, the job of prompt engineering did not exist. Every individual, we didn't think that just asking the right question could be a job moving forward. But that was a job. That job was paying 6-figure salary in New York City in 2023, right? Now, the prompt engineering is considered as something that everybody's supposed to know. Everybody's expected, like going in a job in any managerial role, that you know how to ask a question, you know what are the potential challenges with AI, how do you reduce hallucination, what is a zero-shot prompting, what is a multi-shot prompting, what is a chain of thought, and what is actually a reasoning in AI. These are some foundational knowledge we need in AI moving forward. So as a result, the jobs are going to be transformed. The jobs that we perceive right now, some jobs will go away, but there are a whole lot of jobs that we can't even imagine right now. They will be created because of these AI and analytic solutions that are being presented to the world almost every single day. There's a new solutions, better models, better the large language models, better generative AI tools, better automation tools, RPAs, machine learning methods. Everything is transforming the way we work. So what made AI this good? The three key elements: data, algorithms, and computing. So all these organizations, they are using increasingly larger amounts of data from the web, from individual corporations, like the inside data, the code databases, etc. Because of this data, they're able to use sophisticated algorithms, the transformers, to train these exciting models, more robust models, more accurate models. And because the computing power, it's feasible to do those things in a few days or a few weeks or a few months as well. So AI, as a result, can generate text, code, data, images, voices, music, video, and literally anything, any digital content that you can think of. It can create that content right now. It can even analyze that content. So with the release of Google Gemini to Flash, it can now analyze music. It can analyze videos. You give it a video and say, hey, tell me what's going on in this video, right? It will explain everything to you. It'll explain the music, the instruments used in the music as well. So AI can automate literally anything now: machines, processes, software, user interfaces. So it simplifies our task, anything that we want to do, right? If we have any task that is repeated, the task is going to go away soon. I mean, Anthropic is working on the automation tool. Google is working on ChatGPT, or OpenAI is working on the tools where they will automate our browsers. Any task we want to do on our website or any website, we can actually automate those things. So if a task that can consume or generate some form of digitized information, digitized data, it could be automated. Now, I don't want to say a job will be completely replaced because a task could be completely automated, but it's essentially a job is a collection of these tasks where some tasks get automated, some we need humans. And this is where I'll talk about a bunch of examples from my own research. So essentially, my whole research is on data analytics, data social science, and more recently, I'm tapping into applications in education, advertising, user experience, content engineering, product engineering. I'll take some examples of what we are doing. Here is the first video that you can possibly see. This is a course.
Little to no prior experience with SQL or databases, don't worry. We'll start from the very basics and gradually build up our knowledge to ensure that everyone can follow along and grasp the concepts easily. Before we embark
this
on our
course,
adventure,
as you can see on the screen, this course was generated completely by AI. When I say completely by AI, every content, the images, the slides, the person speaking, the voice, everything is AI, right? Similarly, we had a course we created, which was created by human, so completely by human. So this is the same Introduction to SQL course delivered by a human instructor. The slides, the script, everything is human generated. The goal why we did this is essentially to evaluate if learning from an AI-based course is better or not, right? And what we found is if we end up creating 4 courses, where a pure AI course, pure human-generated course, AI-generated course delivered by human, human-generated course delivered by AI. What we found is that the human-generated course delivered by AI outperforms every other course, which is surprising because when we think about large language models, we think AI can generate pretty amazing stuff, right? And we need humans to deliver those courses. But what we found was completely opposite, that actually humans create more exciting stuff that we comprehend, we learn, we grasp, and we remember more frequently than AI. And there's all kinds of reasons that we can get into at a later time. Similarly, we did this for advertising. So these are essentially for 4 different brands among all the different brands we were exploring. There are 2 ads per brand. I'll give you a few seconds to read through the ads and think about, for every brand, which ad seems more interesting, more relevant, will be more attractive to you as an individual, right? Now, if you want to take a guess, so one of these ads is generated by AI. The other ad is generated by humans, right? So the human-generated ad is essentially created when these corporations spent millions of dollars with their advertising firm. They created those ads and they delivered it on the digital platforms like Facebook, Google, etc. So those are the ads we found. For these 4 brands, the first ad you see for all 4 brands is generated by human. The second ad is generated by AI, right? The second ad that is generated by AI is to target specific demographic, specific age, specific gender, specific race, right? So some ads may be appealing to you because of your gender, race, and age group, but some ad may not. So this is what we wanted to explore. Can AI do better in advertising? Can it take away some of the advertiser's job? And what we found is AI-generated ads outperform human-generated ads on an average, right? Measured in number of clicks. We also found AI does better only for selected demographics, suggesting there is a potential bias. It works for some demographics, but it doesn't work for other demographics. The reason being underlying data. If we have data that is trained by, say, young men and women, the ads will work for a young demographic, right? It may not work for the older demographic. So AI-generated ads, what we found, were liked most by the younger demographic. So thus, we need humans. The marketing job is going to stay, advertiser's job is going to stay, because they need to critically analyze these jobs and say, look, this ad looks great, but I'm going to create this other ad for a different demographic. So AI plus human is needed for advertisers to outperform both AI and human advertisers itself. Same as education. Now let's think about user experience. Usually I would ask, how many of you seen the movie Super Intelligence? So this is a clip from the trailer of the movie Super Intelligence featuring Melissa McCarthy and James Corden. So here's the clip.
Carol, I am a technological super intelligence. I can control every dollar and every machine on the planet.
I know that voice. Is it James Corden?
I'm not James Corden, Carol. My analysis showed that hearing James Corden's voice would calm you.
The point I wanted to share this clip is because in this case, the James Corden voice says, which is AI, tells Melissa that I'm using the James Corden voice because it calms you. We actually did that study. We trained a lot of different voices. And so we all use these smart devices, the Siris, the Alexas, the Googles, and we say, look, I mean, we're not very happy with this voice. We don't engage very well. Our job was, as research was, can we let and make people engage with these voices better, more? So we trained a lot of different voices. We took a lot of celebrity voices. We said, let's cluster these voices with the help of machine learning. We identified different clusters. In this case, I'm showing you 4 clusters. We had 6 clusters total. And we wanted to see which ads, which voices will be more attractive for information-seeking behavior or advertising and purchasing behavior as well. And we found that ostentatious voice, which is like the Courtney Love or Stephen Fry, are the voices people will like to engage with to buy more stuff. Seductive voices like Drew Barrymore, Russell Brand will be horrible for marketing anything on these smart devices. We also found that the female voices encourage users to seek more information. And this is what organizations have already discovered through A/B testing, where all these series and elixirs and all those voices are female voices because they want to encourage that essentially information-seeking behavior. But now if you pair this information-seeking, like the female voice with ostentatious, which is Courtney Love, we're going to engage with our smart devices even more, right? Now, in another project, so on AI and product engineering, we said, look, a lot of companies, they create products, but which product to sell online, which product to sell offline, how do you detect that? How do you determine that? Right now, the approach is A/B testing. I'm going to put everything online, see what sells, what doesn't sell, and what's popular, I'm going to move it to store. But that's not the best approach. If I show you these 5 dresses that you see on the screen, how do you pick which one to put in store, which one to put in an online platform? And this is where we built the AI-based store assortment system, where we understand the features of the product. And we essentially, based on the historical data of customer reviews, what people care, and segment the customer sort of perspectives in how a product looks, how a product feels, how a product fits, what features fall into each category. And we were able to place the products accurately based on the channel where we want to sell. With all this AI, I mean, advertising, product engineering, user engagement, what we then thought was it's going to affect our behavior. So this is what we did with my co-author, Devjit Roy. He's a faculty in IIM Ahmedabad. What we tried to build is how does users' behavior change with increasing use of AI? What we found is as users keep increasing more and more AI, their behavior is going to shift. There's a Kahneman theory about 2 systems. The mind works in 2 systems, the system 1, system 2. We are always working in system 1. Any new trigger creates a system 2. AI is that system 2 trigger right now, right? But if we keep increasing the use of AI, which provides a little bit more deterministic outcome, AI will become part of system 1. As a result, it's not going to make us think anymore. It's going to affect our decision, maybe in wrong directions at that time. So we have to be mindful of how much AI is influencing our decision-making process, and are we triggering that cognitive thinking, analytical thinking with the AI as well. So we have to keep thinking that we need the AI plus human, because AI plus human is going to be bigger than human or AI itself, right? Moving forward, if a human is trying to do a job and says, I don't want to use AI, I can guarantee human plus AI can do a better job than the human. But human plus AI can also do a better job than AI itself, right? So essentially, AI will enhance our jobs, behavior towards technology, and productivity. We just need to embrace AI and see it as a child entering a candy store, right? And the AI revolution isn't coming, it's here. You can resist it or you can harness it, be agile, evolve, and outthink the machine. AI isn't replacing you. It's a turbocharged, unpredictable, exhilarating ally. The future won't wait. So let's charge forward, push boundaries, and wield AI to create, innovate, and redefine what's possible. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Rajiv. I think that was super insightful, and so many things to learn, so many things to make note of in this AI revolution, or this decade of AI, if I'd like to call that. We have 200 people plus in the room. To each of you, if you have any questions for Dr. Rajiv, you can use the Q&A tab to ask these questions. We will take some of the relevant ones and we will ask them a little later on as well. Wonderful. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to quickly invite Mary, who's going to talk to us a little bit about Emory University. Mary has been with Emory University for a while. She's an experienced higher educational professional with a strong background in graduate management, admissions, and recruiting. Currently, the director of graduate admissions. She's been there since Feb 2024, and she oversees the recruitment process for various graduate programs, including the Masters of Analytical Finance, Business Analytics, Master in Management, and Masters in Business for veteran programs as well. Mary, thank you so much as well for taking our time to be a part of this session. The floor is yours. Remember, if you've got questions for Mary about Emory University, the admissions process, eligibility, anything under the sun about this university, she is the best person to answer them. So do utilize the Q&A tab to ask your questions for Mary as well. Mary, over to you.
Thank you, Sean. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen so that I can tell you a little bit more about Emory University. I think the one thing that is immediately apparent is that we are very lucky at Emory to have world-class faculty, such as Dr. Garg, and that was such an impressive presentation. I learned so much. It's making me want to go upstairs and take some classes. So let me go ahead and make this a little bit more visible so that you can all see, and I will share a little bit about Emory. As mentioned, Emory Goizueta Business School is located in Atlanta, Georgia, and it is considered one of the top 20 MBA programs in the United States, as ranked by U.S. News and World Report and Fortune. And what's important about that is we have faculty that teach in our MBA programs as well as our specialized master's programs. So all of our graduate programs are really providing a really top-notch quality education that is something that you can really leverage to for your future career pursuits. Emory was founded in 1836. We're a private institution, and we have had the benefit of having several key partnerships. Our school itself is named after Roberto C. Goizueta, who was the chairman and CEO of the Coca-Cola Company for almost 2 decades. And he also had a close alignment with Emory University and helped inspire a lot of our values. So we continue to have those key corporate relationships with companies in the Atlanta area and globally to this day. But what I think is also really important about those partnerships and our strength of our alumni and really the vision of the school is that we are, even though we have a lengthy history, very forward focused. We are very focused on being at the forefront of technology and being thought leaders. And that is something that we think is something that you will really have a wonderful opportunity to explore in the programs here, is not just having the benefit of having really world-class education, but also one that's technologically very forward-facing. So I want to tell you a little bit about Atlanta before I get into our programs themselves. Atlanta is in the southern part of the United States. It is a rapidly growing city, and we are lucky to have at least 16 Fortune 500 headquarters that are located here. We also have 75% of the Fortune 1000 companies have a presence here in Atlanta. And this is really important, not just in terms of the opportunities you'll have to interact with local employers and local representatives of the companies, but also in your career search. Emory is also a wonderful place for you to be a student. There's something for everybody here. It is a really thriving city. We have 5 professional sports teams. We have a wonderful food culture and scene here, many types of museums if you're into culture, and a really thriving music industry. In addition, I loved the film clip that we saw earlier. There's a huge thriving film and television industry here in Atlanta. It's not uncommon to see crews shooting on campus or near campus. So it's simply a place that is really interesting to be a student. So as I mentioned, we have both full-time MBA programs as well as an executive and part-time MBA program here at Emory Goizueta. But one thing that we've noticed in the past few years is that there's a real interest in developing specific skills in shorter 10-month specialized master's programs. So I'm going to focus on 2 of our programs today, our MSBA, our Master of Science in Business Analytics program, as well as our Master of Finance program. And in terms of some of the skills that the reasons you're all interested in pursuing education, this kind of advanced skill development is something that these specialized master's programs offer in their unique ways. Our MS in Business Analytics program has been around for about 8 years now. I believe we're in our 9th cohort. And it was designed not just to be able to provide you with these incredible technical skills. It really is designed to be able to be the intersection of business, data, and technology, to be able to give you the kind of core fundamental skills that you'll need to be at the forefront of emerging technologies like AI, but also to approach them with a business mindset and to be able to actually have the kind of logic and thinking that's really important to use that technology to solve business problems. It is a STEM designated program, so you are eligible for 24 months of OPT extension. And it is really a really unique program in a lot of different ways that I'd like to touch on. One of the most unique ways that our program is unique is really our strength of our curriculum. It's something that we are continually revamping and revising so that we are current in terms of technology, but also being cognizant of having the core skills that you're going to need. Our program starts with boot camps in math and business and statistics. Well, there's really technology and then a course in business statistics. And then you'll spend your fall semester getting that core foundational knowledge, things like managing big data, decision analytics and optimization, AI and machine learning, intro to business analytics, and then database visualization. And once you have that core knowledge, the next part that our program is really unique about is giving you really wonderful ways to apply it and to learn more and to take your education a step further. We offer 4 separate tracks that you can customize your business analytics degree into the areas that you think are most suitable for you or most relevant to your career path. We have an AI and business track. We have a business analytics track. We have a supply chain analytics track. And we have a marketing analytics track, things that you can really go ahead and look at the types of courses that you offer and see that you'll have an opportunity to really specialize your focus in analytics. But even more importantly, the other important part of your spring semester is our analytics practicum. And I think this is something that is really special. We have a managing director on staff, Dr. Scott Radcliffe, and Scott's job is to go out to companies all around the United States to find actual business problems that companies are trying to solve. It is an opportunity for these companies to come and get our talent to get insight into some of their business problems. But as a student at Emory, why it adds value to you is it gives you really hands-on practical experience working with the company's real data. You'll sign non-disclosures. You're going to be interacting with these company employees and coming up with actionable solutions that the companies often end up using in their actual work. You'll be working with a company throughout the end full semester in teams of 4 to 6. You'll have an opportunity that we have companies come in November to do a pitch day. So you can really choose what kind of company and what kind of industry you'd like to work in. And then again, come up with a really actionable solution with deliverables that are going to include code, a business presentation, and a dashboard for the company to use. One of the things I like to highlight about this program is that it's also wonderful timing because, as you know, this is a very short 10-month program. And having this kind of experiential experience and knowledge in the final months of your program as you're conducting your job search gives you wonderful experiences and opportunities to talk to employers about the things that you've learned and how you've applied them. And that's one of the reasons I think our career outcomes for this program have been so strong. Some of our past sponsors for the programs have included companies across all industries. You can see Coca-Cola, FedEx, airline industries like Delta, large consumer products companies, and other communications companies. So one of the benefits of the MSBA is it really allows you to pursue your passion, not just for analytics, not just for solving business problems, but if you have any industry-specific passions, it really is a very versatile degree. The next program I want to talk a little bit about is our Master of Finance program. And again, one of the things that I want to highlight is that there's a lot of Master of Finance programs out there that give you really good core foundational knowledge in financial skills. But this program was custom designed, again, to be at the forefront of finance and analytics and be really the future of finance. It was founded by Dr. Kirsten Travers, who is a hedge fund professional. She continues to do work in that space. And she was realizing in the course of her work that a lot of her analysts that were starting had great foundational knowledge, but didn't really know how to apply it and didn't know how to use some of the really important analytical tools that are really important in decision-making today in the finance space. So she helped develop a really unique curriculum that is much like a banking rotation program. Our students in our Master of Finance program will go through 4 different rotations in various areas of finance throughout their 10 months. You'll start with an onboarding boot camp, again, to give you that kind of access to the technology and the skills that you're going to be needing throughout the program, things like financial statements analysis, business statistics, and an overview of some technologies that you're going to be using. We will be teaching our students foundational skills in R and Python and SQL that you'll be able to apply in your analytics and thinking in your finance program. And then you'll move into these rotations. The first one's in global markets, where you'll have classes like coding for financial insights and data visualization for finance, equities and derivatives. We move then into asset portfolios. We have courses like financial econometrics, futures and options, mergers and acquisitions, followed by a rotation in strategies, where you'll work on things like investment and portfolios, quantitative stock investment strategies, and fintech innovation. And then the final part of the program is really in practice. You'll be doing some also smaller practicum projects in the one, well, I guess I should say shorter practicum projects in the one in MSBA, but still projects where you're having an opportunity to apply the skills that you've learned in the first few rotations into an actual business problem, come up with some actionable solutions. Sorry, let me get this off of my screen there. The other thing that's really unique about this program is that you can see in the bottom of the slide, all 4 of our rotations continue have what we consider to be on-the-job training. And that's not actually going to a job site, but we're giving you actual problems to work on within the course of the classwork that are the kind of things that you would encounter as a real analyst in a real firm. Dr. Travers likes to say we do not like to give our students anything to work on that they won't be asked to do in a workplace environment. And I think that's something that our students have really found, that they get amazing practical skills that make it very transferable to the workforce. The other really unique part about this program is the actual location where your classes take place. Emory spent millions of dollars developing a custom finance lab specifically for this program, where you have access to all sorts of technologies in a really lab kind of Wall Street trading floor setting. We have 10 Bloomberg terminals. You also have access to FactSet, Thomson. As I mentioned, we'll be teaching you Python and R, and really give you an opportunity to have a really interactive hands-on experience in this classroom. One of the things that also is really unique about the program is we do offsite treks to not only firms in Atlanta so that you can see business professionals in action, but we also do a 3-day experiential trek up to Wall Street, up to New York City every year, that gives our students a chance to really gain additional skills and insights into the finance industry. I'm happy to say that there's a mistake on this slide talking about our outcomes from our Master of Finance program. It's not really a mistake. The previous cohort, we had 97% employment within 6 months of graduation. Our most recent cohort that graduated in May is 100% employed, many of them who have really incredibly exceptional job offers. And I want to note that our strong outcomes for careers for both MSBA and Master of Finance, our cohorts are about 70% international in both of these programs. We put a really strong emphasis in providing career guidance and one-on-one mentorship for all of our students and assisting our students in their job searches to be really well prepared, to have their brand and to have the steps in place so that if you do want to work in the United States, you have resources to help find jobs here. Many students do choose to do so. And as I mentioned, we're highly well regarded for our outcomes. These are just some of the firms that our Master of Finance graduates have gone on to. It's obviously a very small subset, but it just is really illustrative of the fact that you can work, again, in a variety of capacities. Consulting firms like Deloitte, we have financial firms like Truist, investment banking firms, JP Morgan, we have students at BlackRock, a lot of different opportunities. So I'm going to wrap up really quickly saying that we would love to be able to welcome you to our campus as a student. We have a lot of different online information sessions that go into more depth about all of these programs, and as well as opportunities to talk with current students in our Student Voices sessions. I always encourage that. If you would like to apply, our application process is fairly straightforward. We have an application form you can start on the website and just work on it as at your leisure. We require a resume, transcripts, professional recommendations. We do require essays. There's a 60-second video essay that you will record, and I will comment on that. That is one thing of the application. We hope that you do not use AI. We do like to hear your authentic voice in that video essay. We also do require the GMAT or GRE, or require you to request a test waiver, and the qualifications for that are on our website. We require TOEFL if you have not been instructed in English, or if your country is not one where English is a language of commerce. And there is a required interview that is by invitation only for both programs. I'm going to conclude by saying, if you are interested, we have 2 rounds of deadlines remaining for the Master of Finance program. Round 3 deadline is March 26th. Round 4 is May 7th. We have 1 remaining deadline for the MSBA program, which is also March 26th. So thank you. I tried to make that as brief as possible, but I wanted to try to give you an overview of our programs, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have about the admissions process or the programs themselves. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. I think that is super insightful. Learned so much about Emory University and the Goizueta School of Business, which, to be honest, is something that I have interacted with for a long time, for the last 4 years. And, I've seen graduates go into certain programs, come out of those certain programs, and come as, better individuals. Yes. They've got wonderful programs, great faculty like Dr. Rajiv Garg as well. But the overall personality development is something that Emory University focuses on, which is slightly different from a lot of different universities that we hear. We have a whole host of questions. There are still 140 odd of us in this room. We have around 10 to 12 minutes to take certain questions. Dr. Rajiv has been kind enough to answer a lot of them in the chat already. So thank you so much, Dr. Rajiv. I'm going to ask you a question first. This is something that I've been thinking of, and a lot of people around, student community, prospective student community also been thinking about. We are not engineers. I'm not an engineer. I've studied business in my undergrad. But AI is here for everyone. How can a non-engineer, or someone who's not coming from a tech background, try and build something in AI? We saw that 35-40% of people here are looking to start their own businesses, and they might not be from the tech background, but they're interested in building some bit of AI tech. Is it possible for non-business folks, non-tech folks, not engineering folks, to actually build something in that? How easy or difficult is that going to be, and what are some of the things that we must keep in mind?
So I think that's a great question, Sharang. And actually, students do exactly that, the MBA non-tech background in my course. So in one semester, in one course, they learn. So you need to learn tech a little bit. I'm not saying you need to be an expert at tech, but you need to have a better understanding of what databases are, how data is stored, what is coding, like what are some basic foundational knowledge of coding, because we don't need the tech skills to be able to code and program and build the actual technology, but we should be able to debug. We should be able to use it correctly, right? So this is where, so in my class, essentially, they built 3 startups with 0 tech background before coming into the class. They use generative AI to do the coding. They essentially created the prompts. So I'll take example of one of the business applications or a startup they built. So this student team of 3, they wanted to figure out what job is available that matches your resume right now. So most of the people, they apply for jobs, they just search for keyword, they find the job, and they keep applying. What this student group said, look, there's too many jobs out there. There's so many job descriptions. We don't know how to pick. We're just wasting so much time where their conversion rate is so low. So what they built is they essentially scrape all the job description. Again, using generative AI, they wrote a code where they were able to get all the job description data from the web, right? So, and then they said, give us your resume. So any individual would put their resume into the system, and they understood the concepts of NLP from the course, just the foundational knowledge. They developed those NLP to identify the best match between the resume and all the job descriptions. And they gave the top 5 job for this individual that matches their experiences, their skills, their resume. And again, these are students with zero background in technology. There's actually one student who was a doctor in India before coming to Emory. And because he wanted to change from being a doctor to like a manager in a hospital setting and stuff, like use both of his skills. And he was part of the team that built this tool with zero technical background. AI will help you do all the coding. AI will help you do all the development. And this is where I'm saying AI. When we think about AI agentic workflow, there are tools there that will write the entire software for you. So in this case, I'm saying, look, you need some NLP knowledge so we can write the right piece of code. You know what a code modularity is. You just put those together and you have a working product for your startup. But the AI agentic workflow, you tell them the software specification. This is what I want the software to do. An agentic workflow is a bunch of different AI systems that are working together to build the entire software, test the entire software, document the entire software, and help you deploy it with almost zero knowledge. So we are in a world where you can create any tech without the need of a tech person right now. Now, if you don't have the foundational knowledge for debug to essentially even create the specifications for a software, then yes, you do need somebody who has some training in that area or who has taken a course at MD like my course, right?
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Rajiv. I think that gives us some confidence, us as a non-tech background folks, some confidence as to trying and finding our way into the decade of AI is what I'd like to call it. Mary, there have been questions, quite a few questions, around funding opportunities, primarily scholarships, and I know that Emory also participates in the Seed Scholarship Fund. I'm going to post that link in this chat very shortly. But could you throw some light on different funding opportunities? And I know you've covered that in your presentation, so it might be a little bit of a repeat, but if you'd like to throw some light on some funding opportunities once again, please.
No, I'm happy to. We, in our graduate programs, offer every student an opportunity to be considered for merit scholarship. So we do not have a separate application for that. We just look at the information in the application that you submit. And we really look at it holistically, your grades, your scores, your past work experience, if you have any, your internship experience. And in terms of how the awards are awarded, the students that really have the highest level of merit are the ones that do get the stronger awards. Our awards range from about, probably $5,000 or $10,000, depending on the program, up to about 50% of tuition. So it is definitely, some of the awards are quite generous. And we do have other resources at Emory, at our Graduate Office of Financial Aid to assist in making up the difference. Also helping you to find other opportunities, either through corporate sponsorship. There's a lot of external scholarship students can apply for, as well as some work opportunities here on campus. So it is definitely something that we understand it's a big investment, but we try to meet as much as we can with some merit for the students at Merit Aid. I also did want to add this one thing I did forget to mention in my presentation is that we're already helping with a little bit of the finances, because all of the students attending today, if you submit an application, you will be given a free application fee waiver. So there's $150 just today that we're happy to offer to you. Thank you for coming.
Wonderful. Just on the application fee waiver, Mary, is there a process that you'd like to share as to how these candidates?
No, we have the list of attendees of everybody who's here. And so we will have that entered into our system. So once you submit your application, you will automatically get the fee waiver. You do not need to submit a code or anything. It will just be done.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think there were a couple of questions around application tips and, letters of recommendations. One thing that admission directors usually talk about, just like yourself, is we look at the holistic, profile of the candidate. It is not that if you're great in academics, you can walk into Emory, or if you've, done something that might not be something you're proud of in your, undergrad days with regards to lack of internships or stuff like that. What is the definition of a holistic admission process? What are admission directors critically looking at when they define admission or not for a candidate?
That is such an excellent question. And I'm glad you touched on the fact that you don't have to be absolutely perfect, or you can't have things that are weaker in your application. We really do look at all elements. And so we always just encourage you to put your best foot forward. And I think really the thing that makes it stand out the most is that you see an actual need for this degree to meet your goals and that you have a passion for this subject. We look for that in your essays. We look for that in your interviews. We look for experience of that in the activities that you took place in your undergraduate years or in your work experience. So really seeing the need for a desire to get into the field of business analytics or finance, or really seeing a need to have some business skills in terms of your entrepreneurial venture. If you can communicate that well in your application, that's one of the things that we look for in addition to academic strength. If there is something that is a weakness, please feel free to use your optional essay. We're human beings. We understand there's things that are challenges people face, and we always like to have the reasons why if there's a weakness, so we understand.
Wonderful. I think there was a question by Sahaj about a minimum GRE score. Well, there is no minimum. If you have a better score, again, that is one element of your overall application. So better score, better prospects. In lower score, you can find some other aspects of your profile that can maybe compensate. So that's a little bit about the minimum GRE score. I have a question for you, Dr. Rajiv. And it's not topic related, it's not AI related. There were some questions in the Q&A tab around careers. Now, you might have seen so many, candidates primarily from India or the Indian subcontinent come into Emory, come into, some of the programs. What is your outlook over the last few years about how Indian candidates have performed in the job market per se? What are some of the opportunities? What are some of the trends that you've seen that Emory graduates from the Indian subcontinent end up taking up in the 2 to 3 years after they graduate?
So Sharang, I unfortunately don't have that insight. I have, one of the students last year who graduated, she got one of the highest paying job, from India. She worked in Ketan in India for, I think, 6 years before joining MSBA program. She had almost no technical background. So, the courses were little, it took her time, but she was great. And she got one of the highest paying job in Dallas, Texas. So I know one or two examples. There's another girl, this also recently graduated, and she is working, I'm forgetting the consulting company's name in Atlanta itself. So she's happy as well. Again, so it's, unfortunately, I don't have the exact statistics where the Indian people are going, specifically. But the two examples I know, one in consulting, one in essentially she's in product marketing kind of an area but the highest salary ever for the MSBA student, from what I remember. Broadly speaking, most students end up in more large firms, so Home Depot, Delta Airlines, Deloitte, Visa, Amazon. So those are, I would say, some of the top employers. But again, I don't have the right statistics. Whoever students, during graduation, they come, they tell me, hey, this is where I'm going, I know, right? A lot of times, we teach a course and then students forget about us.
They never forget.
They never forget. That's true. No, but thank you so much for that, Dr. Rajiv, because that gives us some understanding. We're looking for some anecdotal information about, certain candidates and their career trajectory, which actually, helps us in this. Mary, my final question to you, I think Jatin had this question, he's still in this session, trying to understand a little bit about campus life, right? We are individuals coming into the program, but we want to have a good time outside of the class as well. What are some of the opportunities that Emory provides the international students from a campus life perspective?
Oh my gosh, I could go on forever about this, but I want to start too. One thing that I think is really important to note about both programs is that they're very small cohorts. The MSBA program is 70 students. And the at Master of Finance is about 50 students. And that's important in terms of campus life because you're going to have a lot of really great chances to form good relationships with your peers. The program offices also provide a lot of recreational and social activities for our students, whether it's going to sporting events in Atlanta. We've done scavenger hunts in the past. There's often a lot of cultural type celebrations within the cohorts. But then above and beyond that, our campus is really just 10 minutes from some of the most fun things to do in Atlanta. We have a place, well, it's really a path called the Atlanta Beltline that connects some really great neighborhoods. It's a great place to walk and ride bikes and hang out with friends and go to cafes and restaurants along the Beltline. There's also, as I said, a thriving museum culture here. There's a lot of music. There's something to do for everybody any day. I'd love to go to different sporting events. I'd love to go to the concerts in the city. I think also on campus, our students have an opportunity to be involved in a lot of different clubs. We have a leadership board, both for MSBA and Master of Finance, but there's also about 200 MBA clubs that our students have access to. They can't necessarily have leadership roles because they're, MBA is a 2-year program, but we definitely have students that participate in some of those clubs and case competitions and other types of opportunities. So lots to do. Too much to talk about.
To do too much to talk about. That is a lot about Emory, and over the last 1 hour we have learned a lot about AI and how it is impacting today's generation. We've learned about Emory University, so many different opportunities for each and one of us. I wish I learned about some of these things back in the day, and I can go back in time and try and do something more. But you learn something every day. So maybe an executive program for anyone here with some work experience, or a master's program if you are just finishing your undergrad, or an MBA if you are in 4 to 5 years of work experience. At this point in time, I'd like to take our time off. Mary, thank you so much for taking our time. Dr. Rajiv, thank you from your busy schedule to spare this hour to talk to prospective students. There are still 100 odd folks still in the room, and we'd like to thank you for also staying back and listening patiently to Mary, Dr. Rajiv, and myself. This is Emory University and Seed Global Education's masterclass around artificial intelligence. Thank you so much for your time, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon.
Bye-bye.